We are live and we are ready to get ready for the NFL draft for free agency to figure out what we need to do for the Cleveland Browns. We'll look at some highlights and lowlights from the Senior Bowl, look at available free agents, and try to piece this together as well as a mock draft simulator coming up. Big show. Let's go.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast with Andy McNamara, the sickest Cleveland Browns podcast.
Chubb runs, he's to the 10, 15, he's to the 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. There goes Chubb, he's to the 30, 20, 10, 5, touchdown, Chubba Lubba Hub.
It's gonna be sick.
Welcome, everybody, to the show. I'm so excited for this program today. I was teasing it up on Sunday. We're getting into the draft, nitty gritty. We're starting. But what I realized was I wanted to come on to a big mock draft show and stuff. But I thought, you know what, we have to try to at least establish to some degree first is what are the Browns going to do in free agency? As we know with every team, what you do or don't do in free agency, who you sign or don't sign, trade or don't trade, affects your draft plan. So we're going to get to that as well as some highlights and lowlights from the Senior Bowl and NFL draft. We're going to do two-round NFL draft mock simulator. Some quick Browns news. Andrew Berry came out today and said Myles Garrett, he's not trading him. And not just that, he wouldn't trade him for 2 number ones. I like the certainty of it. I like the finality of it. Said he wants Myles Garrett to finish his career as a Brown. Fine by me. That's great. Myles wants to be here. You kind of walk back those comments of waiting to see and wanting to see the plan. He's going to get paid a lot of money in an extension. You need Myles Garrett, and that is tremendous. So I'm thrilled with that. Andrew Berry saying not touchable is Myles Garrett, not even for 2 number ones. Joel Bitonio also getting selected to his 7th Pro Bowl. That's fun. Good for him. And the rest now, we have Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry. Stefanski down at the Senior Bowl. Hasn't done that before. Berry was down at the East-West Shrine game. It's good that at least initially we're seeing their quarterback process changing because Stefanski was never down at those things before. I like the upside of that. Take a look. And please, Berry, DePodesta, whoever else, please take Kevin Stefanski's opinion to heart. You didn't with Joe Flacco, right? You did with Josh Dobbs. Listen to the guy whose offense you're going to be using again. And that has been successful. Please, let's listen to that and piece this together. Make sure you're clicking notifications on. You can jump in the chat. Let us know who you want the Browns to draft. Get in free agency, whatever that might be. Subscribe, notifications on for the YouTube channel, on X at SickPodBrowns, at AndyMC81. Instagram as well, at AndyMCSports. And jump in. And we're going to welcome in a moment to the Stadium Mustard Hotline. Our guy from ESPN Cleveland, Nick Paulus. Stadium Mustard, folks. Authentic, genuine. The zing, the spice. It's phenomenal. You want to be getting it from ballparks to backyards and everywhere in between. Stadium Mustard. Smooth and spicy mustard. Rich in taste and tradition. Real and organic. Not manufactured. You can get it at Huntington Bank Field. I had it at the game this year I was at. All throughout Ohio, America, Canada, everywhere else. Stadium Mustard. Put it on your hot dog, your hamburgers, your deli sandwiches. I tried on pork chops. I've been selling the pork chop angle on it. Underrated. Stadium Mustard. Mwah. Love it. Go get it. And let's welcome in to the Stadium Mustard Hotline our guy, host and producer from ESPN Cleveland, Nick Paulus. Nick, how you doing, buddy?
Doing well, Andy. How are you?
I'm doing well. And before we get to the Brown stuff, how about a little OH?
I-O, baby. Come on. You know that.
How about it? Oh,
unbelievable. What a run. And obviously, it's still mind-blowing how this team came together after the Michigan loss.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still on cloud 9. It's been over a week now. And it's just been, this is a sweet one. This is a very sweet title. And obviously being 14-2 and just the most impressive playoff run that I've ever seen, pro or college. The fact, I mean, you won 4 straight games by 18 points per game. Like it's unheard of. It's what a great run.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, Buckeyes, they never rebuild, they reload. So going back to the Natty next year.
Oh, there's still you still have, well, as long as some other team doesn't purchase Jeremiah Smith's services. Good Lord. I saw that. I was freaking out.
Jeremiah, he's going to be firmly a Buckeye for a while. Him and Caleb Downs, we're good.
Okay. Whatever the man needs, get it to him, please.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, let's not mess around. What's mind-boggling to me, Nick, is that legit, if Jeremiah Smith came out in the draft, he'd be the number 1 pick this year. He'd be the number 1 pick.
Absolutely. I mean, he'd be at worst a top 3 pick because someone would move heaven and earth to move up and grab him. The fact he's 19 years old, or it's wild.
He's so good. And Will Howard, we'll get into him a little bit. He's not throwing and doing anything at the Senior Bowl because I don't know. He played a whole bunch of extra games that mattered and showed himself as a leader of men, as a powerhouse. And Nick, I saw Josh Allen-isms in him. Not that he's going to be Josh Allen, but I saw a guy who could run through you, who could make any throw, and the touch on the ball for some of those passes. Now, Jeremiah Smith, you can throw into triple coverage. He's going to get it. But some of the balls he threw to Igbuka, some of the other guys, Tate, Nick, the placement. That's what I was looking for. Not throw it down the field, 100 yards. Lots of guys can do that. Yep. The placement, NFL quality. I'm telling you, man, Will Howard, that's a guy. If he can't end up with the Pittsburgh Steelers, Nick, I'll die. I can't have it.
No, please. I said that earlier this week on the Really Big Show, 850 ESPN Cleveland, and the words came out of my mouth, and I immediately went like, "Please, God, don't let that happen."
Just
please,
like, that's another Big Ben waiting to happen. Yeah,
it would crush me. Absolutely.
He's somebody like many in this draft class you don't want to start day one, but who's played a lot of games. You get a competent veteran, you sit him. This is a teachable guy who's growing. My God, could we please have a 6'4", 225 quarterback on the Cleveland Browns instead of a zippy little running around guy, please? Like, Nick, it's wild. It's almost to the fact, like, what we think makes sense, you then look at the Browns front office and you're like, well, they're not going to do that.
And that's how it always goes. It makes too much sense. And that's the worst part.
The overthinking, analysis paralysis. It's wild.
Totally.
Oh my gosh. Okay. We're going to get into some NFL free agent options because, like I said off the top, before the draft, we need to see what the Browns can get in free agency with they're going to have to be ballers on a budget here, Nick, because the look right now is they have the second greatest salary cap deficit going into this year. $26,860,395 in the hole. Andrew Berry, I'm sure they'll finagle the numbers to make it. Yeah. But that being said, you got to be a little frugal here, right? That's the issue. You can't just get anybody.
Yeah, you're not shopping for T. Higgins. You're not going out on the limb for any major free agents, and that's okay. Your team is built. It's 53 deep. Your team's built through the draft, and that's how it needs to be. Great teams are built through the draft, not through free agency. It doesn't mean that you can't find free agents, balling on a budget, but you still need to figure out how to draft. And Andrew Berry's had some hits, a lot of misses, but free agency, whenever it comes to trades, Andrew Berry does pretty well with trades.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at the Amari Cooper trade to get him and then the trade to send him away. I believe you got a 3rd round draft pick for him. And and honestly, he didn't show up in Buffalo. And that was my biggest thing. The moment he got drafted, I remember clear as day. I said, it's going to prove, I think Andrew Berry's going to nail this one because you traded to get Jerry Jeudy. That was a major hit.
That was nice.
And proved to be the number 1 wide receiver. And I feel like you traded Amari Cooper at the perfect time because he goes to an offense in the middle of the year. You need to learn a new offense in the middle of the year. It never works out. It never works out. So you essentially stole a 3rd round draft pick from the Buffalo Bills. I love that move.
Yeah. And remember, it was a panic move. They took advantage because Devontae Adams had just gone to the Jets.
That's right. Yeah.
Huge. And so Buffalo felt they had to react. Andrew Berry took advantage. You're right. So that's good. The problem is, Nick, let's run through it quick. Browns need 2 safeties. JOK status unknown. And even with it, you need 1 to 2 linebackers. Defensive tackle, could use at least 1, maybe 2. You need a running back. Another wide receiver might be nice. Oh, yeah, you got to load up on tight ends now because the Stefanski offense demands at least 3. We got 1 true guy in Njoku. That's a lot to go through when it comes to free agency and then the draft.
Yeah. I mean, it's easier to say what the Browns do have compared to what they don't have.
Yes, and quarterbacks.
About that. Yeah, they are a team that is 3-14 for a reason. Mm-hmm. We overhyped and overestimated what this team, like their depth was. I still feel like they have really good players. So they're, even at 3-14, obviously you have the Miles, you have Denzel. I mean, you're loaded. You're loaded with all these players. Jerry Jeudy. Mm-hmm. The offensive line still has pieces that can be used. David Njoku, like you said, there's still a lot of players here, but the depth of this team, you gotta load up, and you're gonna have to bring in free agents that are on, lesser deals, and that's okay. That's completely fine. That's where you find a lot of your offensive linemen. And but you need to be able to coach the guys up right, and they just didn't get that coaching last year. Hopefully this year's a little bit different with a new offensive coordinator and hopefully a new shine on life, knowing that you don't have Deshaun Watson at quarterback.
Amen to that. And look, the offensive line told us all we needed to know. End of the season, they said they weren't comfortable. These are littered with Pro Bowlers. These are stars. They weren't comfortable. Make them comfortable. We have to hope that the thought partners up there finally have said, hey, let's stop outsmarting ourselves. So we'll see. Now, before we get to the free agency, Nick, this caught my eye during the day, and I was like, I got to pop this up for Nick Paulus, and we got to take a look. Okay. All the quarterbacks, Trevor Cam Ward, the one that's getting a lot of steam because of the association at Alabama with Tommy Rees is Jalen Milroe. This guy, of course, super athletic, 6'2", built like a truck, can run real fast. Couple problems. He measured his hand size 8 and a bit. That might be, the hand size. But, Nick, if you're running, you need to grip the ball. We've seen in the playoffs, those angry defenders punch the ball out. So you got little hands, you run, you got a big arm, but your accuracy sucks. And that's where I'm concerned. And let's pull up, Sammy, if you don't mind, a few lowlights from today. Now, look, Jalen Milroe's throwing here. Oh, nice skipper, right? We're skipping a rock across the pond. Let's see again. Here's another pass at the, a nice break by the receiver outside and intercepted. Okay, that's 2. Surely not a third one, though, Nick. This is a top draft pick. We got to watch him. Okay, and let's see. Overthrown. Oh, we got one more as well. Milroe, hoppy feet, and overthrown again. And this is another one. Oh, this is a deep ball. Yeah, overthrown. The guy isn't accurate. Nick, I heard the words shockingly inaccurate today. Missed 8 straight passes at the Senior Bowl. Your thoughts on Jalen Milroe? There's missing all over the place.
So I'm going to need to clip that and show that to one Chris Paul Oldak.
Yes, please do.
I've already sent him a tweet of some of those throws, not all of them. So I'm glad
I'll send you the link.
I'm glad you had most of them right there.
I'll send you the link.
Yeah, please. So I've already hit him up, Riz and Aaron, and just big emoji eyes, sent it out to him and said, this is Paul's guy. Yikes. And I think Milroe is going to be, I think he's going to be a solid NFL player. This is reminding me so much of Anthony Richardson.
Yes.
Now, Anthony Richardson tank just like Milroe, but Milroe's had a ton of experience in college, but he's been benched multiple times. Now, whenever we're taking a look at what Anthony Richardson is, Anthony Richardson, not very accurate with the ball. He's never been accurate. No. I think he averaged it was 48% completion percentage this year, which is unbelievable.
Right.
But you have that, and then Milroe, who again tank, but not as accurate as what you're hoping for. A lot of those misses, you're going to have that in Senior Bowl practices. So I'm not going to super overreact to it. However, I think game tape doesn't lie. And a lot of the game tape that we saw from Jalen this year looked like he took a step back. And honestly, like, it surprised me so much that he actually declared for the draft, because I felt that he needed another year in college. Now, I'm not going to tell anybody to turn down any sort of money, because we all know how the quarterback game works in the NFL. He's going to be drafted in the first round. Just he shouldn't, but he's going to be drafted in the first round. So I'm very interested to see exactly where he goes or who he goes to. But if he has to start games next year in the NFL, I don't see that going over very well.
Nick, I want to start a campaign. If hashtags are still a thing, maybe on a shirt, I want to say no for Milroe.
I love that.
Say no for Milroe.
Yes.
I don't want him. Like, Nick, most of the other quarterbacks, I don't really want Dylan Gabriel either. I think he's very mid. I'm not interested.
Right.
But any other, if the Browns draft Cam Ward, I won't mind. I like it. Shedeur Sanders, I have my questions, but I can get behind it. Jackson Dart can get behind. Certainly Will Howard. If they draft Jalen Milroe, Nick, I'm going to freak out. Like, I'm going to lose my mind, because that just says, again, the front office does not see what the Stefanski system needs, and we're in the same circle, and then everybody should be fired, and we're going to have to sit through another crap season with that and another blown pick.
Yeah. It all depends on where you draft Milroe. If you get Milroe in the second round, now you have the first pick of the second round. If he's there at 33 or whatever it is, and you end up drafting a stud in the first round, maybe like, and I don't know exactly who, but I have a process of, if you trade back from 2 and don't draft one of those quarterbacks, but a quarterback needy team moves up, you pick up another second round pick, you pick up whatever it might be, you pick up something there, you draft a stud. We were talking about defensive line, Mason Graham. And as much as I hate him because, Buckeye, Mason Graham destroyed the Buckeye offensive line, and he's done it for a while. So you draft someone, let's say Shedeur goes to Vegas. You move from 2 to 6, you pick up a second or a third round pick this year, a first round pick next year, whatever it might be. And then you draft quarterback in the second round. If you get Jalen Milroe, 33rd pick, I'm not going to freak out. I won't. Like, I feel like he's a second round pick. If you trade up and have to, draft him in the teens, or you waste capital moving up to get him, that's where I'll freak out.
Don't get a Johnny Manziel. Let's not have a come get me.
That's exactly what that is. I don't want that. You need to have somebody, if you're going to move up in the draft for someone like, a polished quarterback, that's what you're doing it for. You're not doing it for a project that should not see the field for at least a year.
No, great word, project. And the Browns don't have time to be a project. You have the prime of Myles Garrett, who said, I want to win. Don't need a project. Now, again, none of these quarterbacks should necessarily start day one. You need to work. But that guy is so far away from being you know what? If he wants to come in and be a Taysom Hill, okay, that's a weapon. Throw the ball sometimes, run, have fun with it. That's how I see Riley Leonard of Notre Dame. That guy's Taysom Hill. Go be Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill's had a nice career. He's made a lot of money. Nothing wrong with being Taysom Hill. But I don't want him. Second pick, dude, where would you take Will Howard? I'd take him in the second. Here's the thing. If people say it's a reach, it was, quote, a reach when Sean Payton went and got Bo Nix. It's not a reach if you get your guy. If he proves to be your guy, then it's not a reach. That's the correct pick, and it doesn't matter where you draft him.
So it's funny that you mentioned Bo Nix. The moment they drafted Bo Nix, I immediately said that was a reach. I thought that he was a second-round draft pick as well. And you look at what Bo did in the first month of the year, first couple of 5-6 games, whatever it was not impressive. You were like, I don't know. This probably was a miss. And then he turned it on down the stretch, got the Broncos to the playoffs, and whatever happened in the playoff game, I understand. It's a rookie quarterback in the playoffs. Bad stuff's going to happen.
Yeah, for sure.
However, they got to the playoffs with the rookie quarterback and with the deficit of what you had with Russ Wilson's contract, which they had to eat as well. It's very similar to the route that the Browns are going to need to take if you are able to do that. Now, I don't think that the Browns are convicted on any of these quarterbacks, but for me, if it's not Cam Ward, if you're not going to draft Cam Ward at 2, I wouldn't mind Will Howard in the second or third round. I think you can get him in the third.
I don't know. All the hype, like if he throws at the combine, the measurables.
And that's where it all comes down. If the measurables come out, and I think we all know he's 6'4", 235 pounds. He's going to probably run a 4.6 or a 4.7. He's a fast dude.
Yeah.
He's been tracked doing 22 miles an hour on a straight run. He's very quick, much faster than you would think.
Yeah.
But if he's able to do that, and obviously hand size is king apparently, but if his hand size is decently large and he can run, he's probably going to shoot up the draft board. You're right.
Yeah.
I think right now he's a third round pick. He has the capability of becoming a second. And if you draft and you do everything possible to get this team right, I think Will Howard in the second or third round is not a stretch. And I personally would love it. And you pair him up with a older vet quarterback. Everyone goes to the Kirk Cousins, Joe Flacco route. You get one of those guys on a cheap contract, knowing that it's a 1-year deal for them, and you go with Will Howard for your future. I love it.
Yep. In conversation with Nick Paulus from ESPN Cleveland. Speaking of the options, Nick, Sammy, bring up, if you will, from SpotTrack.com, the available free agents, which doesn't include Kirk Cousins, of course, because he has to be released, and you can do the Russell Wilson $1 million thing. But let's pop that up, Sammy. We will take a look at the options. And Nick, it gets lean quick. Sam Darnold, I think he's going to be outpriced because even though the last two were stinkers, I think he's going to be outpriced for what the Browns can do.
Yeah, totally agree. I think Sam Darnold, even with the stinkers, for sure, this is something that Sam Darnold's going to be way overpriced. I could see Darnold if they don't go with Shedeur to Vegas. I think that, Darnold to Vegas with Pete Carroll would be a slam dunk for them.
Zach Wilson and Trey Lance, I have below zero interest in. Please, God, no. No.
So I completely agree with you, especially on the Zach Wilson aspect of it. I know our host for the Next Level, Emma Golden, would die for Zach Wilson because he absolutely loves the guy and thinks that all the issues with the Jets was not directly on him. And I agree. It wasn't all directly on Zach, but I don't think Zach is as talented as what everyone thought he was. So, I mean, I'm going to avoid Zach Wilson like the plague, as well as Trey Lance.
When he was drafted, Nick, my first thought was, this guy looks like he's in 8th grade, tiny shoulders, wearing his dad's suit. He looked terrible. No, Zach Wilson, no. Trey Lance, if you want him as a camp arm 4th string, sure, but he ain't playing nothing. The next name on the list, Nick, we can't go back to team-friendly, beloved Jacoby Brissett, can we? Hey, God.
I mean, you're talking to the Brissett Express conductor too.
I know you are, but we can't go back.
I'm a huge Jacoby fan. I think Jacoby is obviously way past his prime now, and he's 32 years old. Doesn't mean that he's a bad quarterback or anything, but he's got the hell beat out of him the last couple of years. Sure. I think personally, I wouldn't mind if you got Jacoby in for, I'm talking a deal. Like you'd have to get a deal for him, but if that's possible, I'm fine with that. But again, I can't in good conscience think that Jacoby Brissett is going to survive behind the Browns offensive line for 17 games, because that's what we're looking for. We're looking for a guy that can survive for a good majority of the season. And if you're in playoff contention, great. If you're not, and there's 4 games left in the year, maybe throw the rookie out then. But I don't feel good about Jacoby right now.
No, and Jacoby's great. Like if, let's say, we had Will Howard and it is next year and he's like, this is our guy. He's great if you have the guy.
Sure. Absolutely.
I mean, in the room.
It's the same sort of trade-off as what New England did with Drake May. Now, Drake May is superiorly talented compared to Will Howard. However, that's the same sort of thing. You saw Jacoby start for the first 6 or 7 games or whatever it was. And then they said, you know what? The kid's too talented. We got to put him out there, see what he has. And he showed life. So kudos to New England. Now
we go down the list. Taylor Heineke. I actually don't mind Taylor Heineke. He's a bit of a firecracker, but not for a whole season. It's spot start. Marcus Mariota, nice with Philly, but no. Drew Lock, again, if he's your backup with an established guy, he's got some leg power. Jarrett Stidham's a bum. Andy Dalton, Joe Flacco. Does Andy Dalton interest you at all?
Andy would be okay with me. I don't have an issue with Andy. I think that Andy showed signs of life whenever he was with Carolina this past year.
Yeah.
And talk about a terrible offensive line setup for them. But I think that he would be fine here. Any of these veteran quarterbacks that have miles and miles and miles on them, I'd probably be okay with, because if you bring them in, you obviously know that it's a 1-year rental sort of deal. And as long as they understand that as well, I'm totally fine with it. Andy, to me, I'd be okay with Andy.
Knows the division as well, right?
Right.
That's there. And of course, everyone's favorite, wacko for Flacco. Joe Flacco at 40 years old. Was a fun run. He'd be welcomed back with open arms. But at this age, didn't look that great in Indy. But could he recapture the magic in Cleveland one more time?
Yeah, I think it really all has to deal with the way Stefanski's offensive play calling was. And now that Stefanski's going to be calling the plays again, I think that it was a match made in heaven. It's unfortunate that Flacco's 40 and not 30. Because if that was the case, then I think that you just sign him up right now. I think Joe Flacco loved his time here in Cleveland. I think that Joe would probably be welcoming to coming back. Sure. I just don't know if the Browns brass wants to deal with that, because there was so much hype and so much love for Flacco here. It was bananas. I mean, they were writing songs about Joe Flacco. Flacco fever went crazy.
Yes.
However,
ESPN Cleveland, yes.
Yeah, exactly. So but to me, I just don't know if they want to dip their toe back in that into that water. I don't think so. I think that they want to move on. It was a fun ride with Joe Flacco. And like you said, Andy, the first couple of games with the Colts, whenever Anthony Richardson got injured and sat, he looked good. But then the next couple, when there were like meaningful games on the line, and it wasn't against great defenses.
Right.
He didn't look good. So I think maybe the arm maybe it's starting to go. Maybe the body's starting to go. I don't know. But I don't think that the Browns are going to dip their toe back in that water.
We have in the chat here a couple mentions, Nick, of Cooper Rush from Underground Gaming and Grant Gillen. Cooper Rush saying, hasn't Cooper Rush played decent in Dallas? Grant said, just tuning in, not sure if you mentioned, I like Cooper Rush. He did great behind Dak. And Nick, very quietly, a very unexciting name, but somebody who is, I would presume, affordable. Somebody who is 31 and has played some. And if you look at the numbers, they don't look bad. Like, is Cooper Rush a possibility for somebody you can put in and really be a guy who it's like, hey, man, you know what? We drafted rookie X. He's the plan. But hell, if you play well, we're fine sitting him. Have at it. Like, a couple-year deal for a Cooper Rush. I'm kind of warming up to. What do you think?
I don't hate Cooper Rush. If you compare his numbers to what Dak was doing this year, very comparable. To me, I think Cooper is he's a great backup quarterback, just like how I thought, Jacoby Brissett, great backup quarterback. If you're going to start him, you have to understand that he's going to have a couple of mistakes here and there. If you can survive them, then he's not going to win you the game, but he's probably not going to lose you the game either.
Right.
And that's something that I think the Browns are kind of looking for right now, because of all of the interceptions that you had over the last couple of years, all of the games that were just terrible, turnovers left and right, and you weren't able to survive that. Cooper's not going to throw you out of a game, which is a good thing. And I like you said, I think Cooper Rush on like a 1-year deal, 2 years maybe, like I'd be okay with that, because he would know that if you're drafting a quarterback high up in the draft, his time is limited unless he goes on some sort of Sam Darnold run. And if he were to do that, then I mean, that's a bonus. But
good problem to have.
It's a great first world problem to have. But I think Cooper Rush would be a fine quarterback. Of all the quarterbacks that we've talked about, I would probably have him in like at the top 3 right now.
Yeah. Like you pop him in, athletically limited, but very serviceable. So that's a look at the quarterbacks. One more for you, Nick. Let's do a quick mock draft simulator. Okay. We're going to pull this up, Sammy, if you will, from Pro Football Network. Lots of draft simulators. I like this one because you can go up to 7 rounds. We're only going to do 2 today and bring this up just so we get a little bit of an idea of maybe what would happen. Okay. So we're going to pick Browns. We're going to do 2 rounds. And of course, for those who haven't used the mock draft simulator, you press go and then it makes the pick and you adjust on the fly. So Sammy, let's hit it. What do we got? Shedeur Sanders, the Tennessee Titans take Shedeur Sanders. So Nick, that means that, and you can also in this one propose trades. I've fiddled around proposed trades. No one's accepting a first round want from the Browns, so kind of pointless to try. But if you're the Browns here, what are you preferring? Are you preferring a trade down? And if no one's biting and giving you the price you want, who's your pick?
So for me, I mean, if Cam Ward's there, I'm taking Cam Ward. I personally think that he's the best quarterback in the draft. I wouldn't hate if we're able to move down to 6 with the Raiders. If you're able to move down to 6 for the Raiders, I wouldn't hate that. But then you're tempting fate because I don't know if Mason Graham's going to fall that far, and that's right. My biggest question.
Yeah, then Abdul Carter's probably going to be gone. Mason Graham could be. Then what do you do? We've seen so often the Browns, and this is why we're so scared. You see so often the Browns pass up on these great players.
Yeah.
And, okay, you got all these picks, but the guys you pick are not great.
Yep.
I
was just going to say, I think if you have the ability to draft a quarterback, the best quarterback of the draft, especially this high, you never want to come back to being the number 2 team in the draft. So me personally, I would probably go with Cam Ward, but I would love to hear if you're on board with that or if you have a different take on it.
You know what? For me, I don't hate the Cam Ward pick at all. I would say, okay, you know what? I get it. There's a lot of talent. I get a little bit of Jameis Winston vibes from him though, Nick, because a little bit of a freewheeler, but that also means he comes back from it quick, right? So I think the talent is there. If you go through all the process and they are happy with the interviews and that he's a leader of men and there's talk, he quit on his team. I don't believe that. Then I'm fine with it. If you go away from it and you can't trade down, I do like either the Mason Graham or the Travis Hunter pick, because then, Nick, if you take Travis Hunter, depends where you want to play him, because you're not going to play him full snaps on both sides. But if you have him as a corner, my God, then Newsom's on his way out. You got him and Emerson with Ward and Denzel. We love Denzel. That guy misses 2, 3, 4 games every year. Let's be fair. Every year to a man. So now you have him there, and you can sprinkle him in as a flashy other weapon on receiver, which limits your need to get an extra wide receiver behind the Judy Tillman factor. So I think I would go Travis Hunter, but if they fall in love and say, you know what, Cam Ward's our guy, let's do it. And Nick, you're the guest. Sammy, handed the card, Cam Ward. There we go. Now the Giants take Travis Hunter, and then it goes all the way down there. So we're rolling through all the big names. We've got Mason Graham falls 11.
11. That's unreal.
And Giante goes to Dallas. God, they need a running back.
They need a running back bad. Yeah.
I think Jerry Jones forgot to refresh his browser from 5 years ago when he went back last year to Zeke Elliott.
Ooh, Emeka Egbuka goes to Houston. That would be
better than the Steelers. I've seen him mock to the Steelers. Oh, we have a trade offer.
Ooh.
55. Oh, I don't like that. Second, drop to 55. I need players.
Yeah,
I need players now. I don't like that.
I would need players. That's I'm rejecting that one.
Rejected, Sammy. Hell, get it. Oh, the Chiefs. Ooh. Those sneaky bastards. I don't trust them.
44 and 96. Who's available right now? Can we see that?
We got, let's see. So scroll up, Sammy, if you can. Okay, so these are best available. Walter Nolan. I like him, but inconsistent out of Ole Miss. You got safety, Barron. Go ahead, need a safety. Trey Amos, I don't mind. Watts, I like out of Notre Dame. But here's the thing. With the safety, a lot of the top guys are kind of Grant Delpit, like they're like thumpers and run stoppers. I need a ball hawk, Dick. I need a ball hawk.
Yeah, no, you're looking for somebody that's able to, to get interceptions. That's something that we haven't had in a while.
Wow.
For
Colson
me,
Loveland, tight end. Shamar Stewart. This dude, I'm in love with his size. He's like 6'7", but apparently he doesn't have enough maybe aggression or something off the edge.
yeah. So Hampton to me might be the guy.
Oh,
Hampton from North Carolina, probably, I believe he's rated the second best running back in the draft. He's an animal. If you've seen his tape, he is unbelievable. But the issue is, can you get him at 44?
can you get him at 40? And I'll tell you, now, I think we would love one of the Buckeyes running backs, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Or Henderson.
Absolutely. And that's something that if Hampton is gone, I like that. You know what? I actually don't mind trading down. I don't mind trading down from 33 to 44.
So hold on, Sammy. Don't hand in the card yet.
Like, we gotta talk.
I want to throw in one running back. And if I have to put in a running back as a get this guy, no matter what, second to my Will Howard, and I think we can get him in the 4th round. And I've been tracking this guy for a couple years. Ollie Gordon II, Oklahoma State Cowboys. This guy, rushing winner 2023. His team stunk last year. Don't put that on Ollie.
Terrible. Yeah.
This guy, he is being compared to rookie. Remember Kareem Hunt when he won the rushing title?
Oh, yeah.
He's being compared to that. I think we could use that. And I think we can get him. He's fallen out of people's radars. I think we can get him 4th round. I would say I would hold off on the running back, wait for hopefully him, and maybe go elsewhere. But like that's the thing with running back. Like, I guess it depends. Do you think Hampton is X number better than someone like that in what will start as a committee?
Right. So the way that I look at Hampton is I think he's a stud, but this running back class is so ridiculously deep that, I mean, we've talked about the Buckeye running backs as well.
Third rounds.
You can get either of those guys probably in the 2nd or 3rd round as well. I mean, again, with the Browns, they need so much. Yeah. You could go anywhere with this pick. You really could.
With tight end too, like Nick, you're going to need a free. I don't know the free agent tight ends. There's no one jumping out who's going to be a start. You're going to need to draft at least one tight end. And there's guys you can get maybe a little bit later, but Loveland's one of the best there out of Michigan.
Yeah.
So our time's ticking away here. Do we want to accept the KC trade, or do we want to pick at 33?
I kind of feel like I feel like trading. I think moving down a little bit, just because a lot of these players that we're talking about, you probably could get at 44.
Yeah. All right, Sammy, let's accept it. With the Chiefs, they're going to pick a star, and we're going to regret it. Oh, they got Barron. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Walter Nolan, inconsistent. I like Connerly. We need an offensive tackle, too. That might be nice.
Yeah.
Need one of those guys. Okay.
Oh, Loveland got taken.
Damn it.
JTT, too.
Oh, no more trade downs. Get out of here, Tampa.
No, I was going to say, I'm good on the trade down right there.
50. No.
Nope,
get out of here, Seattle. Get out of our heads. All right, scroll up a little bit, Sammy, if you can. If that's okay. So Shamar Stewart. Stewart. I do really like the size, but I'm reading so much about the, kind of the big body guy, almost like a Jadeveon Clowney.
Yeah.
Where it's like, this dude looks the part, but
with Texas A&M players, like, I mean, it's a brotherhood with them. Yeah. So, Miles would probably be able to, that sort of connection. I mean, you see
interesting
what Miles has with like Von Miller, they have a connection. I feel like any player coming out of A&M that's an edge rusher, it could not hurt as well. So,
right.
But so we're, wow, I can't believe Jalen's there. Wow.
He's there. And Will Howard is too.
Yeah.
We also need a quarterback, Nick. Yeah. I can't take Jay, even in a mock. I can't take him. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah.
I don't want him. Do we want to go? The thing is, okay, if we take a position player here, when do we take our quarterback? Because Dart's probably gone. If he's not gone, he's going to be gone.
We do have Ward.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
We picked Ward off the top. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Apologies. Yes.
No,
I'm so used to my mocks. To pitching Will Howard. I totally forgot. Okay. We don't have to worry about quarterbacks.
Yeah.
So where do we want to go? We got the running back. We got the Texas A&M.
Another
edge.
I was going to say, I don't have an issue with going top pass rusher or top running back. So
you know what? So my thought was, and I read you could sort of move him inside a little bit because we do have Isaiah McGuire and who got injured? The other guy who's doing good. You know who I'm talking about. For his tricep. You know who I'm thinking of.
Okoronkwo?
No, we got Obo as well, but there was the there was the other guy. He was popping a little bit there.
Alex Wright?
Yes, Alex Wright. Yeah. So I'm wondering if you have enough of a mix over there, depending what you could do. But again, if it's like, hey, this could be our guy, why don't we take him? Okay, you know what? Let's do the Texas A&M Brotherhood, and maybe we can pop him inside. Let's do it. Let's do it, Sammy. Let's take Shamar Stewart, the big boy. And then I think that because we picked up an extra third, right? I think that was it. Let's see if anything else. I don't think anything else pops up. Who's going? Ursay. And we still need those tight ends. Oh, Burke went.
Yeah, Burke went. Wow.
Oh, damn. Donovan Jackson and Isaiah Bond. There you go. Okay, so scroll down. Our 2 picks. If you had first 2 rounds, Cam Ward and Shamar Stewart, I think I'd be pretty happy with that.
I'd be pretty thrilled with that. Now, the next pick that I'm going running back because I didn't see, either of the
Buckeyes.
Yeah, either of the Buckeyes going off. So, I mean, for me personally, I think that's because we absolutely need some running back help. And whether you get that in the 3rd or 4th round, whatever it might be, but it is, I have zero issues with that. Again, you have your franchise quarterback moving forward who personally, I love Cam Ward. And then, you got the edge rusher that Myles Garrett's going to be big brother to. Love that.
And you can move it in. And then I think that would put us at 3 third-round picks, which you could always bundle and move up a bit if you want, or take your running back, get a tight end because there's going to be some available there.
Yeah.
Look what defensive tackles and stuff are available. That's not bad. Like, I kind of like that. If we trade down there,
Yeah, I think people lose their mind with any sort of trade down, whether at 2 or 33, whatever it might be. That's just the nature of the business. But you need so much for this Browns team.
Yeah.
It is so many positions. Trade down is not the worst thing in the world, but Andrew Berry needs to nail this draft more than anything else in this entire world.
You got to hit no Corey Coleman's trading down and passing on Patrick Mahomes.
Please, God, no.
Jeez.
Right.
The last time they picked 2. No Corey Coleman's. All right, buddy. Nick, you've been very generous with your time, my friends. Tell people where they can hear you, find you, and all that.
Yeah, absolutely. You can follow me on Twitter at Nick Paulus. Pretty easy. NickPaulus. I'm the producer of The Next Level. We are on 850 ESPN Cleveland, WKNR in Cleveland. From 3 to 6 Eastern every single day. And Paulus is going to be coming back here on Super Bowl Sunday. So tune in. It's going to be from 10 to noon on Sundays from here on out. So about another week and a half until that starts up. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And obviously the NFL season, Brown season's over, but the off season is just getting started. And my God, it's going to be a crazy, crazy off season.
It's already more interesting than the regular season was.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
And of course, Browns fans, or if you're just looking for good sports radio, on thelandondemand.com as well. Yes. I'm a day 1 subscriber. So if you're not in the Cleveland area, TLOD.
Thank you.
I got you, buddy. All right.
The best.
Nick, thank you, my friend.
Thank you so much for having me again. We'll need to do this again, man.
Absolutely. And let's get it trending. Say no for Milrow.
That's right. That's right. Have a good one.
We'll see you, buddy. Thank you. There he goes, Nick Paulus from ESPN Cleveland. No Jalen Milrow. No. It's not just the Senior Bowl passes. Look at the pass of 16 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. Those numbers in college, 20 rushing touchdowns. Okay, lots of guys running touchdowns. Say no for Milrow. Let me know what you think of that draft. Our little 2-rounder here. What do you think? We got Grant. What are you saying? I'm like Grant Gillen saying, I like going defensive line, defensive end, or wide receiver in round 1. And Will Howard at 33. Well, give me some Will Howard, Grant. You know it, baby. You know we're going underground gaming. Oh, did Henderson get picked? Okay. We were saying about the Ohio State running back. So Travion Henderson did get picked in our 2-draft scenario, which means that Judkins would still be available. I'm telling you, Ollie Gordon the second, guys. Ollie Gordon the second. Mark it down. Ollie Gordon the second. Get me that guy in the 4th round. Or if you acquire multiple picks at the end of the 3rd, that's somebody we can plug in right away in a committee, and who could eventually maybe be at least a 1A in a 2-back set, maybe even a number 1. Grant, who would you take? DL or DE or wide receiver round 1? Not wide receiver at 2. We'd have to trade down in round 1. We're not taking any of these wideouts at 2. I wouldn't kill him if they take Mason Graham, the tackle. If they stayed at 2 and did not go quarterback, did not get the trade they liked. I wouldn't hate Mason Graham. I like the Travis Hunter flexibility. So I think that's a real possibility there. The fun part is, like, absolutely anything is possible. That's what's so great about this. Anything is possible. And folks, make sure, as we get ready for the Super Bowl, make sure you're getting in on the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Okay, you're going to use code 6sports. 6sports. New customers get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. That's it. You bet $5, you get $200 of bonus bets. 6 sports. You got to get ready for the Super Bowl. 6 sports on the DraftKings Sportsbook app. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bet must win to receive reward. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/ftball.
All right, there you go. We're going to be having more of these mock draft simulators. I really like that. And we're going to go through the different free agent sets with the Browns too. Sunday, going to try to get somebody to talk from the Senior Bowl. Get someone who's either covering it or there, whatever the case might be. But I want some analysis to really dive deep, because we've seen some great players come out of the Senior Bowl. Jalen Hurts rose his stock from a 4th, 5th round pick to a 2nd round pick, beginning with the Senior Bowl, right? So lots can happen there, not just for quarterbacks, but every player. Great opportunity. Thank you so much to our guest from ESPN Cleveland, Nick Paulus. For Sammy, for the Sick Podcast crew, I'm Andy McNamara. Let me know who you want to pick for the Browns at number 2, 33, wherever else, and what quarterback you want in free agency. Click subscribe, notifications on, share the show. And as always, go Browns!
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast with Andy McNamara on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.